This is the 5th video in this series of doing a showcase on the latest Internet Morse ICW setups. In this one we have 2 custom plugins. That's a software CPO. On the left we use one for the Mumble Input. And over here we have another one for regenerating the mumble output, which I'll go over in just a second. So we have mumble input on the left, mumble output on the right for the spectrum analysis and to regenerate. And I'll show you why that's useful in just a second. We're using Reaper again to mix all the audio. We have mumble input, mumble output, and this is the regen mumble output. We have desktop audio. And let me show you that here.
To make these different components talk to each other well.
So we can send desktop audio to the mumble input as well.
And so all of the code has been
put
under this OTalk rubric, which we kind of wanted to keep that separate from Talkie itself because other people want to contribute.
I just want to give you the basic rundown here first. So we have desktop audio. I'm using a USB mic here. And we have rig audio. So I have the output of my rig. And you can send that to the mumble input as well, which is what you're seeing on the left. I'll just mute that for now. And that's so I can hear it. And again, we've separated the mixers so that one volume just goes to the mumble input and the other volume control just goes to the sound card. So I can vary how much I want to hear and it won't change what goes to mumble. Alright, we're using one of the secret weapons of this setup is Jackrouter. And that's where we have all the plugins. And we're actually mixing plugins native to the Carla Jackrouter Jack Audio Connection Bay. And it has a lot of different plugins that you can load up. These are from Melda, from the replugs, and any other VST plugin. You can pretty much tell Carla where they're at. And you can bring them up. Here's the ones we're using right now. 2 regates, 2 sineCWs, loud max for the automatic gain control, mumble input and mumble output. And you just wire it up however you want to, and if you hit save, once you have this one loaded up already and this one loaded up, it'll bring in the rest of the plugins and then wire all these connections. Reaper is our mixing bay here, so we can use the sliders on mixer to control the volumes. We have, for this setup, you don't have to do it this way. The system is the Realtek mic. Now on yours, your system may be mic or line input. And you have to tell in your Windows sound properties which one you're going to use if you have 2 of them. Windows will only let you use 1. Well, this I'm just using the mic. And it goes to the regate here. And when it triggers right there, it sends out that MIDI note as before. We're using MIDI note 54 in this case, which goes to this software CPO, and we can switch around, and you can see the spectrum's a little bit different. And right about there. And we control the side tone with mumble input. So let me take that up a bit. Use exponential. And let me change the pitch. Those pops that you're hearing are because the video is making my CPU jump a little bit. We're getting buffer issues. If I'm not running the video, I don't hear those pops, so bear with me, please. Okay, so we have that going. Now let me go over the mumble outputs. First I'm going to show you what the mumble output sounds naturally. Then I'll show you why regenerating it has some advantages. So I have 3 different CW files already sending. So I'll just go and okay, we'll bring that up to normal volume. So that's a normal tone. This one's kind of low for some people. And this one's going to be rough and kind of high. You can hear those key clicks. So this one doesn't sound too bad. Okay, so let's try it with the regenerating. Let's see what happens here. Now go back and forth. Here's what it sounds like after we regenerate it. So anyway, if you set that right, and it's all about using regate here, and no matter what channel we're in, because it has that AGC circuit just before it, as I go into a couple of other rooms here, watch regate, and this keeps it right at 12, which keeps that threshold just the same. So see how low that volume went? So if you have people on Mumble that are low, or the pitch is different, or the tone is kind of rough, you can regenerate it very easily with these free plugins. And now for the room that's just sending normal, 700 Hertz, so even that works. You can see the volume's pretty equal. So we'll cycle through these again. And there's one I set. It's pretty low, but it's still keying accurately. And then the normal. Okay. So that's how we do that. Once you set this up again, you don't have to worry about it if you've saved it. Just bring up Reaper and this ASIO bridge again. That makes connecting to Mumble very easy. And on here, you don't have to worry about where these 1s and 2s are. This is how it comes default. You just wire it up in here, so you just use the first 2 channels. So I'm taking the out, what you hear on Mumble from the others, I'm bringing it in to the 3rd and 4th mixer on Reaper. Right here. 3 and 4. And then I'm also sending it to 5 and 6. So we come in 3 and 4. 3 and 4 over here go right to the sound card. This is the Realtek HD sound card. But I'm also taking the output, going over to the input of LoudMax, to the regeneration stages here. And then that goes back to 5 and 6. So whether it's 3 or 4 naturally, or they're regenerated on 5 and 6, I can mix those two or just listen to one or the other. And I can look at the spectrum, since all 3, 4, and 5, 6 channels are connected to the output spectrum, which is kind of neat. So I'll put that back up there, and we'll look at the spectrum next. Here's the second room. And the one with the high pitch and the key clicks. That kind of gives you an idea. Get out of here for a second. That kind of gives you an idea of what everybody's looking like over here. You can compare it to the left side. Then what you see over here. What's really unique is, you notice on HF that everybody has a unique sound. Well, even on ICW and Internet Morse, everybody has a unique sound from how they generate their sidetone and how much or how little they're sending it to the Mumble input. Here's my settings again. Hi-Fi cable output for the input and hi-fi cable input for the output. Once you bring up the ASIO bridge, don't worry about it except where to connect it in Jackrouter. Right here. And we're just using the first two. And Reaper I found to be very useful to combine with Jackrouter so that you don't have to have a bunch of VST volume controls. You just line them up. You can just send them right to Reaper. And in Reaper, you can apply other plugins through the FX channels. We've already shown you how many different plugins Reaper comes once you install it. So let's go to that's just the rig audio. And again, we can send that to Mumble. Show you how I'm doing that. So I'm sending it to track 8, which is right here, rigged to Realtek, so that I can adjust the volume how much I want to hear. But how much goes to Mumble is already set for this hardware out 1112. And you just adjust that accordingly. And here's the proof that it's going to the Mumble input. And on the settings, we should see the fluttering of the V meter there too. So all seems good. I think that pretty much sums it up. I have a digital meter here, so I can tell accurately as far as how many dBs. The one on the left here is just kind of a general. Hasn't been calibrated. But this meter comes calibrated, so I like to check that, keep everything about the same. So we have input to Mumble from here. Now we're using just external, so we're keying a keyer outside the computer and sending its audio to the mic jack. Now you can send it right to everything else and bypass Regate and this software CPO. But here's what mine sounds like. Let's see if I can get this. This is what it sounds like. A little high pitchy. So you really don't need much of a external sidetone if you want to do it this way. It just needs to have a consistent volume. So I have this. I have straight key hooked to it. And we've got K1EL keyboard hooked to it. And kind of going QRQ there. So that works pretty good. And this is just another interesting setup. There are quite a few possibilities, and that's why we're running this showcasing series for 2015, trying to show everyone what we've come up with, and perhaps you've come up with something, then please share with us and give us a link in the comment section below the video. Thanks for watching.